In 6 steps today, you and Abhishek are going to find out how to get your life goals done in this Excel sheet. Open it up.
Oh, such as buying a car, ghar.
So step number 1 is you list out all your major life goals. You, on the other hand, go to description, download this Excel sheet right now. Pause the video, and while you're at it, hit that like, hit that subscribe. We'll fill this up together. Alright, so you fill this up.
Yes, these are my life goals.
पढ़ो क्या है?
So I want to buy a house. बच्चे तो होंगे, मतलब शादी होगी पहले.
तुम्हारी गर्लफ्रेंड है?
Public बेइज्जती are not allowed, sir.
ठीक है, ओके. बाय कार, बाय लग्जरी कार. कौन सी लग्जरी कार? पोर्श कायन. और क्या है? रिड्यूस क्रेडिट कार्ड डेट. You over there put in everything you want from your life. Like he's done over here a house, education, going on foreign trips, etc., etc. Put in your bucket list. So Abhishek, now we'll go through all these steps. It will just take a few minutes, and we will find out exactly where to invest, and so will you. And you will be able to achieve these goals
With the money that I'm earning.
And you can, with the money that you're earning, and you can start today. So this will change your life completely. So please watch the video till the end and complete this with us.
I'll do it.
But before that, hit that subscribe. Let's start with step number 2. In step number 2, we'll rationalize your goals.
Okay.
Do you really want a luxury car? तेरे पास अभी गाड़ी
Yes,
है
sir.
क्या?
अब
Normal गाड़ी है अभी?
स्कूटी है.
I'm sure you've put in stuff that is actually not real. Think about what is actually needed, and then in step 2, rationalize it. Do you really need it? Please do it अभी.
ठीक है. So sir, I have written down my life goals in the step 2 जैसा आपने बताया. Now I think I'll buy a flat first. मतलब farm house नहीं लूँगा, so I'll remove this. Luxury car, I think let me first buy a car, luxury car later. So I'll remove that as well.
Cool.
बाकी तो it's good to go. Yes.
Now there's another thing you need to do, which is step number 3. You need to divide what you really need versus what your desire is. For example, someone in school may not need a MacBook Pro. He may need a normal laptop. But you might need a Pro because it helps you in your job or your business or whatever you do.
That's why I've written it. Yes.
Which makes sense. So you take all of this, copy it, and then tag it as a need or a desire. Okay, so what are the needs over here? What are the desires?
Okay, so मतलब buying a house is my need. Retirement, well of course, long term. Child, सर शादी होगी. I think मैं इसको ऊपर कर दूंगा. मतलब मैंने सारा सीक्वेंस ला दिया. मतलब नहीं. Child marriage नहीं है.
This is not your life timeline. Foreign trips is desire.
I want to go.
And buy MacBook is desire again. ठीक है. Got it. You guys do the same thing. Pause the video, complete till step number 3. Then we'll move on to step number 4. You won't imagine what's going to happen in the end. It'll probably change your life. Now, another thing we need to do is we need to take these goals and divide them by time. So do you want the MacBook Pro 10 years from now? Or do you want it?
It's like 2 years. Jaldi.
And do you want that house to come next month, or do you want it a few years?
No sir, so the house plan is like 5-10 year-ish maybe.
So इसको categorize कर दो ना, less than a year, 1 to 5 years, 5 to 10.
Done.
Cool. So over here we can see long term में you have your house, retirement. Short term you have credit card को हटा दो, MacBook को खरीद लो. Let's go to step number 5.
Okay. What is this?
Now here you have to tell me the priority. So now that we have your needs and your desires, we need to actually prioritize it. Which is the most important goal and which is the least important. So we'll add a priority score. So I've asked this guy on step number 5 to fill up the priority. But before you do this, I think you should actually go in the description, fill up the form and join Prime. Where just like I am teaching Abhishek, you can actually do this with a real mentor. But the difference is this, you'll do it in a class of other people in a community, so you can learn from them. And when you actually do this in Prime, he will give you feedback whether your sheet was good or not. Right now you're filling the sheet alone and there's no mentor for you. So if you want to get that, and by the way, it's completely free, but not everyone gets in, fill up the form, attend the personal finance wala session, and hopefully you can benefit more than Abhishek.
So, sir, I'm done with the step 5. तो मैंने जितना मेरा goals था, I've just made the priority out of it. So, ठीक है, sir, मेरे को ना सबसे पहले I'll reduce my credit card debt. That's number 1. Foreign trip maybe बाद में कर लूँगा, तो I'll keep that on low priority as of now. MacBook Pro, well, definitely I need it because मेरे काम में it is important. बाकी लॉन्ग टर्म में वेल शादी होगी, बच्चे होंगे, दैट इज लाइक थोड़ा.
I think you know the reason why we're doing this is most people do just the opposite. They'll do priority 4 of a desire first and they'll forget about their needs. Okay. And then they have something called a midlife crisis, thinking यार ये मैंने किया क्यों नहीं. So this is one way to tell you कि the number one priority in needs is actually what you should be focusing on. Of course, it's less sexy than traveling to Bali. I understand that. But unfortunately, the truth is, don't go to Bali until you figured out paying out your debt and you say buying your car. So makes sense. Cool. Let's go to step number 6. Now is the most obvious step. Add a cost to all of this. Let's see how much all this costs. Abhishek, put in the costs.
Done.
What's the most expensive thing over here?
So I have just added the minimum cost. So if I want to buy a car, so I want to save 4 lakhs in my account, वो down payment के लिए, बाकी loan and EMIs. Buying a house के लिए 25 लाख बचाना है, I think down payment के लिए, बाकी loan.
अच्छा, that's your down payment.
हाँ,
okay.
मतलब उस टाइम पे कॉस्ट ऐसा 1-2 करोड़ हो सकता है, I think. Foreign trip पे भी जाना है, मतलब अभी से बचा लूँगा तो I think I need 3 lakhs, 2 लोगों का 1.5 लाख.
2 लोग का कौन है दूसरा?
मैं अकेला क्यों जाऊँगा?
So see, don't worry about the number you put here. The numbers will keep changing. It's important to add the estimate of what you think. Let's move to step number 7. The final step, this is the big reveal and we'll answer all your questions. Actually, you will answer your own questions in this wala sheet. Okay. Here what we have to do is type the goal name. You already know the goal. Type the current value and how many years it will take you to get to that goal. You already have an estimate.
Current value मतलब जो मैंने वो डाला है DP.
Correct.
Down payment.
And then put an expected inflation on it. कि कितना cost बढ़ सकता है over the years, right? So I'll explain this part.
अच्छा. Let me just fill it up first.
Go ahead.
Done.
So I had Abhishek fill up the expected inflation. Let's go one by one. Let's look at, say, buy a car. Now the current value is 4 lakhs. We want to reach there in 2 years. So we expect over the next 2 years, the inflation of the cost of that car won't go up more than 2% a year, which I think is fair.
Year on year.
Year on year. Then finally we have credit card debt. ये तो we already know how much the debt
priority.
is. तो ये 1% है. But something like say a house, the value of that house can go up over the next 15 years, right? So वहाँ पे putting an inflation of 6% means that you're accounting for the house you want today plus time, which is say 15 years, plus some inflation added to it. Of course, you assume the housing market doesn't crash, but don't plan for that. That's an opportunity. यहाँ पे you've added that, so you'll get a final future value, and वो सब automatically calculate होके यहाँ जाएगा. Let's just quickly fill this out and go ahead on the right. So here you'll get the future value of everything. So इसमें हमने inflation add कर दिया है. So we got your goals, we got the time, we got the expected inflation. ये add होके now we have the final. So that 25 lakh rupee house is actually going to be 60 lakh when you actually buy it in 15 years.
Oh, so I have to save 60 lakh?
Yeah, you have to be ready for 60 lakhs.
Oh.
Not save actually. You have to save towards and grow towards ये 60 lakhs.
So I'll keep the inflation in mind.
And वो child education जो आज 7.5 लाख है, in 18 years it's going to be
30 lakhs.
So this is a very important step. We look at our dreams today and then we think यार मैं 4 साल बाद खरीदूंगा, and then prices go up and then you say यार I'll never be able to hit there. Actually you didn't plan for it. Everything can be done. Also now let's imagine whenever you're saving money, how do you save money? So for example, or invest that money. Let's say you have 10,000 rupees you want to put towards your goal of reducing credit card debt. Will you put it in the stock market? Stock market का minimum investment कितना? How many years is it?
5-10 years.
5-7 years.
Long term में.
I like to say 7 years तो minimum है.
हाँ, ठीक है. 5
but
years.
But your goal here is 1, so you can't put it in the stock market, right? You'll put it in say a savings account, or you might put it in a
liquid fund.
Okay, fine. Makes sense. It could be a fixed deposit also, but you can't put it in any other instrument, right? So expected returns on this is 4%. But say something like say child education, 18 साल है आपके पास, you'll put it in the stock market. So your expected returns is Nifty का CAGR, which is 12%.
Year on year.
So now we have time, we have how much money you need, and we also have expected returns. That will basically calculate your monthly saving required. अभी तुम 40,000 अगर save करके invest कर देते हो, you will be able to achieve all of these goals over the next.
Oh, so if I can invest 8,000, probably in a year मैं credit card से मुक्त हो जाऊँगा.
Correct. Not probably. You will. मुक्त हो जाओगे. Next, buy a car is 16,000 a month.
16,000 अभी से save करना पड़ेगा. So I'll buy a car in say 2 साल.
Correct.
3 साल.
Doesn't seem like a lot when you look at it goal-wise, right? It's 12,000 for a house that is pretty expensive. That's all that's required. I think our goals are basically not planned, which is why we get anxiety, which is why we don't know how we'll get to our goals, because you never planned for it. Everything is planned. The moment you're born, your kindergarten schedule, your eating schedule. You're going to the hospital schedule, your school schedule. Going to the college schedule, the placement schedule. Coming to the office on time, finishing your work schedule. But there's no one who plans your life ka goals ka schedule. Which is why we created Learn app. So we can solve your financial issues by doing these simple things over here. Big shout out to Vasan Bhai for creating such an amazing calculator. Can we do a round of applause? I hope you were able to watch this, but I know 90% of you didn't fill this up. So hit that pause button, go back, fill it up together and get to this point. It'll feel great to know that you can control your future just by spending some 5-10 minutes on this calculation. But a better way, I would still say, is attending Prime because it's freaking free and happens every single weekend. If we can help you get to your finances, हमको थोड़ी दुआ दे देना. दुआ दे देना. Did you think this was useful?
This was very helpful.
And if it was for you, hit that subscribe button and see you in the next video and watch the bloopers after this. Good job.
सर 2 मिनट की वीडियो में 4 बार वो पीछे से ही बोल रहे हो. No child marriage.
Good job.
Okay.
Girlfriend है?
Let's.
ठीक है.
Yes मैम, वो अभी रेडी में.
जल्दी रिस्पॉन्ड करना.